Professor Imran Rahman, Vice Chancellor, University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh. Ms. Priya Selborn, Program Director, Bangladesh DW Academy. Keynote Speaker of the session, Dr. Joy Alagran, Asia Pacific Regional Representative of Global Alliance for Partnership on Media and Information Literacy, GAPMIL. Professor Jude William Henilo, Head of Media Studies and Journalism Department, ULAB, and Chair, CJEN Bangladesh 5th Networking Conference 2022. My esteemed colleagues from different communication, media, and journalism schools across the country, and dear students. My name is Sharkar Barba Karmal. I am an assistant professor at the Department of Media Studies and Journalism, University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh. I will be acting as the moderator of this session. And at the very beginning of the session, I bid you a very good morning and warm welcome to the opening session of CJEN Bangladesh 5th Networking Conference 2022. As you may already know, the conference is jointly organized by the Media Studies and Journalism Department, ULAB, and DW Academy, Germany. Also, it is supported by the German cooperation. The theme of the conference this year is Bangladesh's changing mediascape, roles, challenges, and commitments of journalism schools. Without further ado, I would like to request Professor Imran Rahman, Vice Chancellor, University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh, to deliver his welcome speech. Professor Imran.
Good morning, and a warm welcome to all the participants here. It's really a pleasure for me to be giving the welcome speech for this very interesting networking conference. The CJEN, I had to look it up what it meant, and it's the Communication and Journalism Educators Network, which is an amazing network set up, I think, in 2018, midwifed by Deutsche Welle Academy, and with the participation of universities, both in the public and private sectors, which teach journalism, communication, etc. So exactly the kind of thing ULAB as a university focuses on and tries to be, because traditionally our universities are like little silos. They kind of close all the windows, they sit inside the room, and they don't want to engage with the very important stakeholders in industry. And so fortunately over the last few years this is starting to change, and ULAB is at the forefront of this change. I'd like to thank Dr. Jude, who's the Dean of Social Science and also Head of Media Studies and Journalism, for enlisting ULAB in this august group of universities which are part of this network. And today I'm so pleased to see that we've got such strong sponsorship and support from Deutsche Welle Academy. It's a pleasure to meet Dr. Esther, Dr. Lutfa. Have I got your name correct? Yes. Yeah. And your other wonderful colleagues, and all the participants who have come from the various universities, and I suppose some industry representation as well. So I was looking through the program, and the topics are, the session topics are spot on. And I'll be, of course, eagerly waiting to listen to the welcome speech by Dr. Priya Selborn, who's the Program Director, Bangladesh, DW Academy, and of course our keynote speaker for this conference, Dr. Joy Alagran from GAPMIL. But I am basically a teacher of finance, but I have a great interest in media. And the founders of ULAB, I was just sharing with Dr. Esther, the founders of ULAB are also very closely associated with the journalism industry. Dhaka Tribune and Bangla Tribune are their newspapers, and previously they had a very famous Bangla newspaper called Ajker Kagoj, which no longer exists. So that is why I think when the founders of ULAB started, they made sure one of the core departments to start with would be media studies and journalism. And I'm happy to say that it's a very strong department in Bangladesh. So the theme of this conference, roles, challenges, and commitments of journalism schools is a very apt one, and I'm glad there'll be a sharing of views between faculty coming from different types of universities, because there's a lot to do. In general, Bangladeshi universities are still trying to catch up with regional and international kind of benchmarks. And one of the most important areas is journalism, because that's something that plays such a huge influence in a democracy. I was just recently visited India 3 times. As you know, their journalism is at a very good quality. If you read their papers, if you read the way they write stories, these are lessons for us. And in fact, West Bengal is one of the leaders within journalism in India. West Bengali journalists are very, very famous, both on print and in television and media. So, I think that's basically what I wanted to say. And I'm sure you will have a wonderful and engaging 2-day conference. I saw that there's some cultural event lined up for this evening. Jude, are you singing something there? No? Okay. So congratulations and thank you all for coming to ULab, and it's a pleasure to be the host for the 5th conference. Thank you very much and good morning.
Thank you very much, Professor Imran Rahman, for your kind and inspiring words. Despite being among the youngest private universities in Bangladesh, ULab has already established itself as one of the premier institutes of its kind in the country, and also achieved many recognitions at local, regional, and global level under your leadership. And we are pretty sure that we'll achieve more in the coming days. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us, for leading us towards the zenith. Now, I would like to request Ms. Priya Esselborn, Program Director, Bangladesh DW Academy, to deliver welcome speech on behalf of DW Academy, our partner in organizing this conference. Ms. Esselborn could not make it to this auditorium today, so she is joining from Germany through Zoom. So thanks to ICTs that we can still have her with us. So, Ms. Priya. Okay, Priya, we can hear you, and you are now visible on the big screen, so you can start speaking.
Perfect. Now I can hear you too. Yeah, okay. Salam, good morning, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you to this 5th edition of our CJEN Networking Conference. It is the first one that is organized face-to-face, or hybrid, we can say, because many of us are virtually connected. Of course, we had a long gap because of the Corona crisis. We had the beautiful session last year virtually that Jahangirnagar University organized, but today and tomorrow we are meeting face-to-face, and I think that's a good and very much needed stimulus to our efforts. I just wanted to give you a little bit of overview what is new at DW Academy, because we are meeting after such a long gap. We have a few new colleagues. My colleague, Dr. Esadon Fellermann, is also around from Germany. I'm sure you will meet her this evening when we will conduct a session on constructive journalism. Lutfer Ahmed is there as our consultant, but we have Famim Fados now working full-time for us since last September as our focal point and project manager in Dhaka. And Romana Akhtarshanta is our project associate. I'm sure you will meet her also during those 2 days. So yeah, just as a small introduction. In the last 1 year, we were also working on quite a few new topics at DW Academy. I just mentioned constructive journalism. This was a huge initiative, and it will continue in the second half of 2022. But as I said, there is this evening talk, so you will hear more about that. We worked with two feminist organizations about gender and the portrayal of women in the media. Those organizations were Boni, Schika, and Gotha. We organized a huge conference on feminism with the Goethe Institute, the German Language Institute. So these were a few highlights of the last couple of months. And of course, we are working still with Article 19. Many of you know that we built up this online platform. So we are working on a new course on fact-checking and verification. And of course, the work with you all is going on. And we also have a few more media partners. For example, Ajka Patrika joined our DW family. So this is also great news. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to those 2 days because I think ULAB has come up with a really remarkable program, a program that addresses issues that we really need to address. We need to self-reflect. We need to look at journalism education in the country, what is going on well, what is not going on so well, and how can we fix some problems. Because the corona crisis, I think, has been a game changer for everyone. The media landscape in Bangladesh changed, the challenges changed, and of course, we have to address those challenges. So please discuss among yourself how you can not only address those challenges, but strengthen through our network, of course, the resources and capacities that each one of you at their level has. And I would like to remind you of the words that Ramon Tuazon said. I don't know if all of you had the chance to participate in the pre-conference session that ULAB organized in March with Ramon Tuazon. I was really impressed by his speech and presentation because for me, the eye-opener was when he said that basically everywhere we are transitioning from a knowledge society to a sharing society, and that sharing is not an option or something that we do by choice. In today's time, it's a necessity. And that I found really important. So I hope that you will make best use of those 2 days. And let me end with thanking ULAB, Jude, his whole team, everyone who has been associated in making this whole thing a success. And I'm really looking forward to those 2 days that I will learn something new, and that we can really give our CJEN network a new stimulus, a new life. We have a website now. ULAB and Jude and everyone made sure that we have now tools to connect to each other. So I'm really looking forward to what comes out of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priya, for joining us over the internet, over the Zoom platform, and explaining why the network is so important. Thank you so much. So we'll move to the first keynote of this conference. Before that, let me tell you all that we also have DW representatives, DW Academy representatives among us, Dr. Esther Dorn-Fellerman, and also Ms. Sorry, I forgot your full name, Lutfa. I think Lutfa Ahmed, right? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so we welcome you at ULAB again, once again, and hopefully you will be with us for the rest of the day. And of course, we are going to listen to Esther in the evening, so we'll be looking forward to that. Now, let us move on to the first keynote of the conference. The keynote will be delivered by Dr. Jose Ruben Q. Alagaran, who is known more as Dr. Joey Alagaran. He will be speaking on changed mediascape and academics response. Dr. Alagaran is currently the regional representative for Asia Pacific of UNESCO's International Alliance in Media Education, the UNESCO MIL. He is the president of Philippines Association for Media and Information Literacy. Before coming to this role, he also worked as staff director for policy and communication research at Philippine Information Agency, media development specialist at UNESCO Myanmar Project Office. He also acted as the executive director of Center for Strategic Research at Medium College, the Philippines. So Dr. Joey Alagran, now we'd like to listen from you, but Dr. Joey is not going to present it online live. He already sent us a video so that we can be immune of all these network issues. So I will play the video first, and if you have any query, he can address to that because he is online as well.
Hi, good morning everyone, to my friends in Bangladesh and from other parts of the world. Allow me first to share my screen. The title of my presentation is Reimagining the New Mediascape, Implications to Communication and Media Literacy Education. So over the years, communication education has provided students basic training on media production, interpersonal communication skills, and media laws and ethics. But I have noticed that less training is given on media literacy despite the prevalent use of social media. This allows students to think critically on media messages and reflect on the effects of media so that they would be encouraged to produce more positive media products and messages. I have also noticed that there is more emphasis given on how to be good communicators and producers of media programs. I believe there's a need to balance such training with how to make students critical and discriminating users of media products and messages as well. So in developing a BA in communication program, media and information literacy should be integrated by focusing on what outcomes are needed to be both effective and efficient media producers and consumers, otherwise known as media prosumers. What are some of the perennial media issues? First, we know this very well that the media system has remained highly commercialized, and this is especially true in television programs and even in newspapers. No, more space is given to advertisement, and this is so because advertising is the lifeblood of media. Another one is that we come across highly entertainment-oriented programs on television and even in radio programs. We get to watch situational comedies, variety shows, telenovela or drama series, and some others. There's also such a thing as urban-rural imbalance in news reporting. When you read your newspapers, for example, most of the stories in the front pages are about the city or about the urban, especially if the national daily is located, the operations office is located in the city. The only time that stories from the rural areas get published in the front pages is when there is catastrophe, especially storm, volcanic eruption, floods, among others. Another issue is Western bias in reporting. That is when you flip the pages of your newspapers in the international section, you would notice that most of these stories are based in the West. You get to read articles about United States, United Kingdom, some European countries, and less stories about Asia and the Pacific. And this is so because our news agencies, the likes of UPI, AP, Reuters, AFP, Agence France Press, are all located in the West. Another issue is cross-ownership structure, which means that one person owns a television station, a radio station, or even a newspaper or publishing office, no? And this has implications on the content, on the type of content that will be written, broadcasted, or even produced, no, in the different platforms. Whoever owns the media organization may dictate upon reporters or content writers what to write about, no, and what to talk about. And this is dangerous because this will result in monopoly or monopolistic type of ownership. There's also an issue about imbalanced programming. I think you've seen this all over on television, radio, and even in the newspapers. No? That there are more stories about certain groups, but less stories about the marginalized sectors the uh, like the people with disabilities, senior citizens, among others. No? I think there's also a need to produce programs about health, about culture, about environment, among others. No? There's less programs also for children, and that there's less educational and cultural shows. Um, Another one is the proliferation of fake news stories. No? And I think you've seen this all over social media. This is happening because, remember, if anyone now can easily produce an article and post it also online without the benefit of vetting or even editing. So, uh, unlike if you get stories from the mainstream media, there are editors who would initially edit the articles before they get shown on TV or reported on TV or even published in the daily newspapers. So this is the overview of social media use. So right now we have 4.65 billion users of social media as of April 2022. And you would notice that on the average, of course, this is worldwide, 2 hours and 29 minutes is given to social media. And that of the total population, there's 58.7 rather, percent of them using the social media. So it's a new development now. So maybe other people are utilizing other forms or other platforms through which they would be able to communicate with people or through which they would be able to get information. Okay, so the most useful is Facebook. So we have Facebook, then YouTube running second, and WhatsApp running third as of April 2022. In terms of the reasons why they basically utilize social media, we have keeping in touch with friends and family as the top answer. So they basically use social media because they'd like to touch base with their friends and family, especially if they have relatives abroad or in other parts of their countries. Another one is filling spare time coming in second, and also reading news stories coming in third. In terms of the favorite social media platforms, we have WhatsApp. Although Facebook is the most often used, but the most favorite is WhatsApp, and then Facebook comes second, or came in second, and Instagram came in third. In terms of the activities that they do uh, in social media, you would notice that in TikTok, which is 77.4%, they basically use TikTok to look for funny or entertaining content. But if they want to message friends and family, they would use Facebook. And if they want to post photos or even videos, they use the Instagram. Okay. Others like Twitter, this is being used to keep up to date with news and current events. In terms of media habits, I think you have noticed this, that they have more access now to media gadgets and technologies, no? The likes of mobile phone or smartphone. Then some have iPods, still others would have computer laptops, desktop, among others. No? Then more hours are spent on media, especially online media and mobile media. Then more time also are spent on the internet and mobile phone than reading newspapers, printed newspapers, and also books. There's also access to content which is increasingly graphic and realistic, no? Because of certain technologies now available. For example, Dolby Sound. No? It is as if it's such a realistic uh, representation of images and sound. No? More people are becoming multisensorial. They have become multitaskers because they can do a lot at a certain point in time. And then media usage is also becoming more private, especially with the use of mobile phone. What then is MIL, or Media Information Literacy, and why basically do I want MIL to be part of any communication curriculum? MIL is knowledge and understanding of how the media operates, how they construct meaning, and how they can be used, and how to evaluate the information they present. This also implies knowledge and understanding of personal and social values, responsibilities relating to the ethical use of technology and information, as well as participation in democratic and cultural dialogue. So it's really important that we know how to evaluate the messages that we come across with, that we are critical in terms of receiving and interpreting messages. In 2020, Miriam College, this is an exclusive women's school in the Philippines, conducted a qualitative and descriptive study about the proposed ASEAN Communication Competency Framework. So initially, interviews were conducted in 2019, and this is with the ASEAN Quality Assurance Network, or ACAN, and also ASEAN University Network, and some selected ASEAN schools, which are founding members of the AUN, or ASEAN University Network. We have here University Kebangsaan Malaysia in Malaysia. We have Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, one of the top-notch universities in the world. We also have University of the Philippines, Diliman in the Philippines, Chulalongkorn University in Thailand, and Universitas Erlangga in Indonesia. So we went around this five universities and interviewed the people, chairpersons, or even deans of the communication programs in these schools, primarily to determine their initial insights about the possibility of developing a ASEAN Communication Competency Framework. So what happened was we came up with this framework, and these were the competencies that emerged from the findings that in any communication curriculum, we should also, as teachers, we should also be focusing on how to improve the writing skills of our students, their digital competencies, especially their use of the internet, the mobile phone, and other gadgets, their research and analytical skills. We also have to improve their speech communication competencies. And this is something also important, communication management and entrepreneurship skills, ethics, and cross-cultural communication. So these seven key competencies are the most common competencies that emerge from the analysis of the curricula of the five participating universities in the survey, as well as this also came out during the interviews with the officials, school officials from these five universities. Apart from the new innovative courses focusing on digital competencies, it is equally important for graduates to master the basics. So we have writing, we have research and analytical skills, and of course, speech communication. And then this is another one, the emphasis on communication management and entrepreneurship indicates opportunities for expansion, innovation in the communication field. We also have to provide them management and leadership skills. We also have to think in terms of how we can motivate or inspire them to create their own opportunities rather than waiting for these opportunities to come. Another important set of competencies is about ethics and cross-cultural communication, which is a reflection basically of the common values in the ASEAN region. What are some of the emerging subfields if I were to uh, review or revisit the communication or journalism curriculum? One is entrepreneurship, aside from um, what was mentioned in the previous study conducted by Miriam College. So entrepreneurship is important because we have to also allow our students to run their own businesses, no? Related to media and communication, that they should not just think of themselves as employees, but they could actually become the leaders themselves or major change makers themselves in the field of media and communication. This is something that I think we should also be thinking about, the need for interdisciplinary approach as we teach communication courses. We have to have certain courses related to social sciences, business, information, computer science, and even design. All of this now are coming together as one important component of communication and media work. So we have to make sure that we have some social sciences courses, business courses, also computer science courses to back up or even support the major courses in our curriculum. One field that has emerged is computational journalism. I have a definition here, which I got from the internet. So computational journalism can be defined as the application of computation to the activities of journalism, such as information gathering, organization, sense making, communication, and dissemination of this information, while upholding values of journalism, such as accuracy and verifiability. So this is again something related to the digital competencies that I was talking about when the team conducted this study about journalism and communication competency framework. The field draws on technical aspects of computer science, including artificial intelligence. I think this is another thing that we have to address. Content analysis, data visualization, personalization, and recommender systems, as well as aspects of social computing and information science. So it was repeated that there are courses needed on information science and computers um, to enhance the journalism profession. And this is true because of the fact that we now live in a digital age. Another important aspect, especially if you want them to be research oriented, big data analytics. So this is another area that we should also be integrating in the curriculum. It is a process used to extract meaningful insights such as hidden patterns, unknown correlations, market trends, and customer preferences. Big data analytics provides various advantages. It can be used for better decision making, preventing fraudulent activities, among other things. So in the future, so it can be a separate subject or it can be something integrated across research courses. Another one that has emerged is the study or the phenomenon on post-human, and this becomes now part of post-human studies. But what is post-human? Post-human is a concept originating in the field of science fiction, futurology, contemporary art, and philosophy that means a person or entity that exists in a state beyond being human. And this concept aims at addressing a variety of questions such as ethics and justice, language and trans-species communication, social systems, and the intellectual aspirations of interdisciplinarity. So I'd like to go back to the previous slide. So these are part of the emerging subfields. So we also have to consider, by the way, data-driven storytelling, the fact that more and more people and storytellers and producers are becoming research-oriented. And I mentioned already this important phenomenon on artificial intelligence, robotics, and machine learning, which have become part of communication and multimedia education. So let me continue. So what are some of the competencies that should also be included or integrated into the curriculum? And these are competencies related to MIL work or MIL, no? Or media and information literacy. One, ability to identify audience needs on media information before producing materials and programs. And this is very important because if you don't initially conduct a study, who would ever read or read your article or even watch your programs or even listen to your radio programs? So we have to understand our audience because the audience defines everything that we produce. And it also defines the purpose of our own profession. So these are integrated in subjects like communication theory and research, and even in some social sciences courses. Another one is ability to locate and access media and information for production content from reliable and credible sources. Again, this is very important. How to be able to evaluate the information online and even the sources online. And this can be integrated in courses like communication research and even in production courses. Another one is ability to identify useful and valuable information and media messages in doing research and writing scripts and other communication materials. So this is again very important for people for students who would want to engage in production work. So this can be part of introductory communication courses as well as communication theory and research. Another one is ability to locate and access media and information for consumption and use from reliable and credible sources. So aside from identifying the valuable information, we also have to know how to be able to access and locate them. So this can be integrated in courses like introductory communication courses and communication theory and research. Therefore, what then is the challenge? The challenge is for us to revisit the communication curriculum and see how we can integrate this either in the existing courses or in or in the or we can offer them as separate courses. So indeed, the new media scape has altered the way we look at the communication profession. Likewise, it has led to the development of new competencies, no? These competencies that I have just mentioned, including media and information literacy. So let us now take on the challenge of producing a new breed of students who are ready to face the new requirements of social media age and the fourth industrial revolution. So thank you very much, my dear friends, and have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Joey, for your insightful presentation. And I think these are quite similar if we consider the scenario in Bangladesh and in South Asia. So these insights would be very useful for us when we think about the responses needed from the academe, when we think about tackling the challenges and opportunities, of course, to embrace the opportunities that the new developments in ICTs have brought to our discipline. And of course, these insights set a very good stage for the issues to be discussed in today's sessions, also tomorrow. Now, let's move on to the next agenda. I would like to call upon the Head of Media Studies and Journalism, ULAB, and Chair of this conference, Professor Jude William Henilo, to present the conference introduction.
To our Vice Chancellor, Professor Iman Rahman, Priya, of course, Esther is here, Dr. Joey Alagaran, thank you for your speech, and to all the participants here, a very good morning to all of you. Having attended all CJEN Bangladesh networking conferences, I can say with confidence that we, media studies and journalism educators, have progressed a lot in building our community. Before we had CJEN Bangladesh, we hardly knew each other. Of course, some of us were acquainted as we may have studied at the same university, or we may have attended an event together, or we saw each other's profile online. But it takes networking conferences to really know your colleagues at a deeper level, especially since we discuss matters that are important to all of us in the profession. The informal chats we have are as important as the discussions during the main conference sessions. For this reason, during the CJEN pre-conference session held March 4, I truly enjoyed the trip down memory lane facilitated by our colleagues from Rajshahi University, Chittagong University, Comilla University, and Jahangirnagar University. Thank you for your warm welcome at your respective cities and campuses, or online, as was the case of Jahangirnagar University during the height of the pandemic. I cherish the moments that we had shared together. I got to understand the perspectives from the various members of our community as we tackled the change mediascape, advancements in technologies, problems in professional practice, viability of media organizations, rise of fake news, and the implications of all of these to journalism and education and research. And also, after listening to Dr. Joey, I found out there are more things to tackle. The question now is, What should we expect in the 5th CJEN Bangladesh Conference being held today and tomorrow at the University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh? Well, this can be answered by 2 words: sectoral self-reflection. It is about time for media studies and journalism educators to reflect as a group, reflect on the current situation, reflect on our vision and mission, reflect on our common practices. Self-reflection encourages self-awareness and consciousness about what we do, how we do it, and why we do things. In so doing, we are able to identify areas for improvement. We learn what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses. We get to identify what works and what does not work. In a 2019 study written by Famidul Haq, Shamim Mahmood, and myself for DW Academy, we, the authors, analyzed the main discourses of media studies and journalism departments in the country regarding their vision and mission statements. These statements represented our collective aspirations, what kind of graduates we want to produce. So first, departments aspire to produce skilled and ethical manpower for the media industry. And second, the departments hope to prepare students for the world out there, making them responsible citizens, instilling in them liberal ideals, tasking them to create solutions to problems within their context. In many ways, self-reflection requires us to answer major questions. How far or how close are educators at achieving stated objectives? How do we measure these achievements, milestones, or setbacks? What is wrong with journalism education in Bangladesh? What is right about journalism education in Bangladesh? What can journalism educators do to help the industry's transition to digitization? And Dr. Joey really explained a lot what is the impact of digitization to media habits. It goes without saying then that self-reflection is a very painful process because of 3 reasons. First, self-reflection makes us feel vulnerable. Second, self-reflection makes us doubt ourselves and think that we might be wrong. Third, self-reflection is a fight against our own selves. In order for CJEN Bangladesh to move forward, it needs to undergo this process of painful process of self-reflection. The only way media studies and journalism education can improve is through self-reflection. And I'm not talking about individual self-reflection, wherein a teacher reflects if you're doing well or not, or a departmental self-reflection, a department or program looking if they're doing well or not. It is about the assessment of the entire media studies and journalism education in the country. For the most time, educators have only looked at themselves or at the departments, but never assessed the entire community, the whole sector. Hence, for this CJEN Bangladesh Networking Conference, educators will go into self-reflection mode with the theme, Bangladesh Changing Mediascape, and Dr. Joey said it has changed a lot. Roles, challenges, and commitments of journalism schools. The conference will have 4 parts. First session, what is wrong? So we talk about the bad first. What is wrong with journalism education in Bangladesh? Second session, Bangladesh Mediascape has changed once again. Third session, what is right about journalism education in Bangladesh? And the final session, action plans of Communication and Journalism Educators Network. So what will we do as a network? Okay. Now I would like to announce the members of our steering committee as follows. Sarkar Barbak Karmal, Nandita Tabasum Khan, Abul Kabir Khan, Mamunur Rashid, Muhammad Mosharraf Hussain, Sharifa Uma Shirina, Aminul Islam, and yours truly, Jude William Henilo. These were the educators who responded to our call for a steering committee. As you see, the members do not need to come from one university alone. CJEN is not about one university at a time. It is about all universities all the time. The steering committee members are willing to help the sector on their own volition. They are not paid or forced to do this. These people volunteer to watch over our community, our sector, ready to face the painful process of self-reflection for this conference. And as you would notice, I also did not intentionally mention the affiliations and positions of the steering committee members in order to show that at CJEN Bangladesh, it is not about our differences. Whether the university is old or new, public or private, big or small, rich or poor, generalist or specialized, theoretical or practical. Rather, at CJEN Bangladesh, it is about our commonality as media, studies, and journalism educators. Now, I would like to introduce the representatives of the different universities who are here right now. When I mention the name of your university, please rise. I'll be reading from those who have registered, so I don't know if they're really here or not. So first, from American International University, Bangladesh, is the representative here? Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Next, from Bangladesh University of Professionals, please stand if you're here. Okay, there were two who registered there, maybe they're coming. Begum Rokeya University, Rangpur. Okay, welcome. Next, from Comilla University. Okay, please rise. Okay, we have 3 from Comilla. I think there are students also. Yeah, so students also rise. So we have 5 people from Comilla University. Next, Daffodil International University. Okay, welcome. Next is Dhaka University. Okay, colleagues from Dhaka University, not yet here. Okay, next, Green University. Okay, not yet here. Okay, Jagannath University. Okay, not here. Jahangir Nagar University. Okay, welcome. Kulna University. I think there are students also. Okay, thank you very much. Manarat International University. Okay, not here. Port City International University. Okay, thank you. Quite a delegation. Stanford University. Okay, welcome, our neighbor. Okay. State University of Bangladesh, also another neighbor. Next, University of Barishal. Okay, welcome. Also students. Okay. Next, University of Chittagong. I think this is the, very big delegation. Welcome. Next is University of Development Alternative. Okay, welcome. And then we have Varendra University. Okay. And then, Jatiya Kabi Nazi Nazrul Islam University. Okay, not here yet. Okay. And of course, University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh. Where are you? Okay, large delegation from ULab. Okay, so without further ado, let us start the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Jude, for explaining the conference and taking us through the memory lane with other conferences and explaining the developments. Because I think many of us were not in those conferences, and we did not know the developments of CJEN Bangladesh, how it started and how it grown every day, every year. So it was a wonderful presentation, and it was wonderful to know CJEN. Now it's about rules. We don't like rules, right? But yeah, of course, there will be rules everywhere, and some rules, of course, are meant to be broken. And that's in bracket off the record. Okay. I would like to request my colleague, Nandita Tabassum Khan, who is a senior lecturer at the Department of Media Studies and Journalism, ULAB, and also a member of the organizing committee, CJEN 5th Networking Conference 2022. So, Nandita, please let us know the ground rules for the conference.
Dear colleagues and guests, first I need to clarify that these are not rules. These are to facilitate you, and I'm here to share with you the facilities and support systems we have organized to feel you at home. So I'll start from the registration booth. As you enter the university premises, you have already found the registration booth, I guess. So as you have completed the registration, a gift bag is provided to you with some necessary supports. Along with the COVID kit and notebooks, some ULAB publications are also given to you as a token of appreciation from us. So I'd just like to mention some of those. We have put a copy of Bangladesh Changing Mediascape from state control to market forces. Bangladesh's changing mediascape presents a pioneering study of the trends, patterns, and prospects those shaped the Bangladeshi media. And the book is edited by Brian Shuey-Smith and Dr. Jude William Hanillo and published by Intellect in 2014. We also have provided you with our students' publications. I would like to introduce some of you with our students' works. We have given you a copy of the ULABian, that is the campus newspaper, which is printed with the work of our students, and Cinepedia, that is the CinemaScope Cinemagazine. You have already seen the work of our students from Shutterbugs, who are organizing a photo exhibition at the lobby. We have arranged a book corner for you at the entrance of this auditorium. All of those books are presented to you as the token of appreciation from us. So you can avail any copies of our working paper series, ICT for Development, and also the other publications from the corners. And if you want to have any other books from the display, kindly communicate with us after the conference ends. We have arranged a tea corner for you inside the auditorium, so you can have tea, coffee, and light snacks like biscuits round the clock. There is no tea break, so you are welcome to have your tea and coffee anytime you want. You have to just go at the back of the auditorium. There is a break of 2 hours today for prayers and lunch. The lunch will be provided from the same corner from where you have got your coffee for the morning. And for the Jummah prayer, if you want to visit the mosque nearby, you can go just right from the gate of this building when you go outside of the ULAB building to get to the Mosque Al-Aqsa. However, before the end of the opening session, I think Barbak Bhai will announce the time for the photo session for today. At 3 p.m., we will start our afternoon session. The session will go up to 6 p.m. There is a small break at 6. You will be served with some light snacks, and then we will start our evening session. The evening session will end with the cultural program, also performed by, also with the performance of our students from ULAB Media Club, and followed by the dinner. Some of our guests are granted with the accommodation and travel facilities. A vehicle will be ready to take them to the hotel at the end of our dinner program at 9 p.m. With this, our day one will come to end. Tomorrow, we will start our session at 10 a.m. The session will end at 1 p.m., followed by the lunch. The certificates of participation will be kept at room 601 from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Volunteers will guide you from the booths to collect the certificates. You are also requested to receive your travel grants from the same room at the same time. You have to share your travel documents at the booth. This is for the guests who have the grant permission for travel and accommodation. At the end of the event, we will be very happy to show you our university campus. Therefore, we have arranged a transport to take you to the campus tomorrow. A vehicle will leave for the campus at 3 p.m. If you are available and intend to enjoy our campus, you are cordially invited to avail the ride. We hope you enjoy the session. And for any emergency situation, please do not hesitate to call us. Your contact persons will be definitely Sharkar Barbak Karmal. Alimran, our admin officer, is Alimran here? I don't think here Alimran is at the back. So you can contact him if you need anything. And of course, me, Nandita Tabassum Khan. Enjoy the evening, enjoy the day. And if you need the Wi-Fi password for this premises, the password is students. You can connect with your Wi-Fi with the username 6, ULAB 6, and then you have to give the password students, which is all small letters. So have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Nandita. So there are no strict rules. Okay, that's a relief because when we hear rules, especially people in our discipline, the word rule is kind of giving pain all the time. Anyway, but I think we all know, and it is no longer a necessity to remind all of us to keep our cell phones on silent mode. Okay, so this brings us to almost to the end of the first session of this edition of CJEN Bangladesh Networking Conference. Now we will move on to the next session, which is a plenary session entitled What is Wrong with Journalism Education in Bangladesh. However, before moving on to the next session, we'll have a group photo session, and please allow us a few minutes to prepare the place for taking the photo, and then we'll move to the next session. Thank you.